Thank you for joining us here on another edition of Corona Can't Stop Us. I am Colby Wilson. With me today, another member of our illustrious Student Athlete Advisory Committee, Riley Cooper, who is isolated a stone's throw from campus, so close yet so far away. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's taken time to find a new schedule, not just sit around. Um, but a little bored, but I'm doing all right.
Has the shock kind of worn off now from the abrupt end of the season?
Yeah, it's just I think I've accepted it now.
What were those initial feelings like in the first hours and days after you learned that that was going to be it?
Um, for me personally, when we first found out, we were on spring break, and that was a hard week for me personally because my grandfather passed away the night before our tournament, so Sunday night, and we played Monday and Tuesday of spring break. So I was already kind of numb, I think, and obviously we were down in Florida that whole week, so I wasn't with family. And so then we go to Universal on Wednesday. That was fun, and then we're driving back and we start seeing all of this like kind of pick up. And then I had kind of prepared myself. I was starting to see like whatever conference MTSU is in, they had canceled or like suspended spring seasons. So we were like, or at least I was thinking, they're close, they're more like our size. So I was like, okay, this could happen. And then we practiced that afternoon and then started seeing the Twitter rumbles. And then coach told us. So, it didn't really hit me until like a few weeks later when everybody started going home as far as my teammates. And I guess it was more when OVC canceled and not suspended. They changed their wording. So
Did it feel abrupt even though you knew that it was starting to trend in that direction when the call finally came? Did it feel abrupt?
I guess, I think that OVC did a good job of waiting until they had to make a decision. So, I mean, I think it was more abrupt in like everything just stopped. Like we got back to campus and everything was like everyone was home or everybody had already left because we had been gone for spring break. So I think it was abrupt in that sense, and like we were supposed to come back to practice and come back to class and all of that, and that just ended. So
When you talk to your teammates, let me back up there. How are you guys keeping communication right now?
So we're obviously smaller. We're on like 3 or 4 weeks we've been doing just a weekly Zoom call. We're not talking about anything golf related. We're just kind of, what have you been doing? Like that kind of thing. The players, like we have a little Snapchat group thing that like we'll go back and forth in sometimes. But we haven't done anything. Like I've seen a lot of like study hall stuff. We haven't really done that. We're just smaller. So, we can kind of communicate pretty easily, but we do have group me and that kind of thing. So that's basically how we've been staying connected.
Your coaches, how have they been kind of leading you through this time?
So coach has actually started a, week or a daily devotional, and I think that's been helping because she'll send us a little verse to go read and talk about how it's kind of relating to us right now. So I think that's calming, just leaning into that because she's definitely been a really good leader of faith this year, and I think that's kind of dwelled into all of us. But she actually just talked to me about what my plans are for the next, like if I'm planning on taking my extra year. So I definitely trust them. I trust that they're going to make the decisions that are best for all of us. But I mean, they stay in touch, and so.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you specifically, because I think everybody's running away with the idea that this extra year thing really affects this year's seniors the most. But there's a huge trickle down to the juniors and sophomores and freshmen, where you have the opportunity and the option to add that year back, and it opens up a world of possibilities for you guys in terms of graduate programs and getting that paid for and getting that extra year and everything else. But it also raises some very big questions where you've got to decide, hey, do I want to put my life on hold for an extended period of time, longer than I was thinking about?
Yeah. So are you asking like my plans?
No, not necessarily. Just your thoughts about like the whole thing, and just if you have any insight that you can glean into your thought process to everybody else who's going through it, because you're not alone in it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely changed a lot of things. And I mean, obviously we don't know how we have the option. We don't know how Austin Peay is going to specifically carry through all of that. It's a lot of waiting. I think it's a lot of waiting on what this fall looks like, because we don't know what I would say the rest of this year looks like. But I mean, it's exciting for me because our first 2 years were a little rougher, and it's been a lot more fun this year. And I've joked with Coach of like, shoot, like I wish I had more time with you. Like I only have a year and a half. And so, I mean, if it does work out, I'd love to stay around and get a master's and, play another year. I mean, I'm definitely not opposed. I'm keeping my mind open to all the things, because, I mean, that's all you can do. You can only control what you can control. So just kind of patiently waiting for answers.
How frustrating is it that everything is like that now, that there's so much uncertainty, not just for your season, but for classes in the future and the fall, and you've got a lot of SAAC stuff that you guys are prepping for and trying to plan for, and it's just all, you can make plans, but you have no idea when we're going to get back to doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's been frustrating. I think, like I said, I'm just trying to control what I can control, and I can control my mindset and my attitude. And I mean, I'm trying not to get too wrapped up in everything. I don't watch the news, and I don't read all the articles of, oh, this may happen. Like, I don't. Like, it's not helping my sanity, so there's no point in it. I think it's more frustrating that I think my senior year is going to be revolving around all of this. And like this, I just know that this next year is going to be insane. Like there's going to be a lot of uncharted waters, I guess. So I think that's more frustrating in that, like, it's probably not going to be a typical senior year, but there's nothing I can do about it. So
I feel like SAAC's done a really good job of keeping people hopeful, I guess, for lack of a better word, because you guys have done a lot of and it's not huge initiatives. It's just stuff to be like, hey, I know things are weird right now, but you can still be positive, and you can still be a light in the darkness. And I want to commend you guys for that, and also want to ask how you keep coming up with new and different things.
So we started a little social media thing. I mean, obviously that's probably the biggest way we're all staying connected, is like we do have this tool at our hands. So I think using that in the best way possible. But we were seeing kind of the football team and their Govs Adapt thing that they had started right after all this kind of started falling apart. And so we kind of had a SAAC meeting, whoever could jump in on a Zoom call. And we were like, how could we do something like that? And Kyle Anderton actually came up with our hashtag of go 6 feet apart. And we just kind of ran with it of like, here's some weekly things that we could do. And so, I mean, it's been cool to see that non-SAAC members are jumping in on it, because we all know it's hard to get people to, post stuff that's not cool. But it's been really cool to see, like, just people showing their home lives and how they're staying active. And like this week is our pets. And so, I mean, it's been fun. It's something fun to do. I think we're going to keep it up. And I mean, we have some really good people involved in SAAC, and Ryan does a great job of, hey, like, how can we lead and how can we keep, like you said, a light in this darkness? I mean, yeah, it turned out good, and it's going good. So
Now that you're settled, do you feel like this has become a routine that you can do for the foreseeable future without just losing your mind? Like, you wake up, you Zoom, you connect with people in whatever way you can, you keep up with your studying in whatever way you can. Is it almost become normal?
yeah, honestly, I just kind of feel like I mean, I don't think hopefully this is not what my summer looks like. But I just kind of feel like we're in summer, and I mean, it's weird. Like, it's weird because I kind of am in that mindset, but then like we have our SAAC calls and we're like, oh, we would normally still be in school right now. Like, how can we? And I'm like, oh yeah, like we do need to do this kind of stuff. But I mean, yeah, it's become just kind of normal, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is.
Can you still go golf?
The River Club is open for playing. They shut down the range and putting, like, practice facilities. I have not, but we can. And then I believe that our country club is open as well. I don't know about their practice facilities though.
Okay, that's because I see the football team. I know what some of the other people are doing to kind of stay fit and stay in shape, but also know that golf courses are a unique entity where you can go and hit a ball around maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean, we can't. I don't know how long. Well, actually, I think our governor declared golf an essential activity, which got some backlash, but I think that's why they shut down the practice facilities. But I do know that they've taken all the necessary precautions as far as keeping play open. So I probably should go do that.
Sorry, hey, no pressure. Didn't want to. There's plenty enough to worry about right now.
Yeah. So
class has to be weird at the moment.
I mean, I'm a comm major, so a lot of my stuff was already online. My one on-ground class shifted to online. It's been fine. It didn't rock my world as much as it did my teammates who have anatomy and all of those that they're struggling, but I'm okay.
Kind of want to know how you do anatomy online and kind of afraid to ask.
I don't know. I do know Taylor Dedman's struggling. I know Andrea has some, I don't know what specific classes they have, but they have the major medical bodily HHP stuff that does not interest me, but I do know that it rocked their world.
Being in Clarksville right now with nobody really on campus, is it kind of turning the city into a ghost town a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the mall is really, like, because they shut down, so like that area is definitely, like, it's weird to see TJ Maxx and like that whole lot just completely empty, because that's not usually a lot that's empty. And then, I mean, obviously restaurants and like those kinds of places there's only one or two cars for the people that are like chose to eat out that night. Um, but it definitely is a lot quieter. Roads are a lot quieter. So,
What do you do to combat boredom? What do you do to get outside your head and attain some sense of normalcy?
I've been working out a lot. I don't know if you saw, but my dad has a baseball building that's just on separate from our house, but it's on our property. And my brother's birthday was actually Sunday, and he got a bunch of like a trap bar and an actual bar and some weights. So that's been nice because we can work out and lift, and I run. I would say working out has been the only way I've gotten outside. Like I said, I mean, I can go golf, I just haven't. But yeah, just I would say, I mean, working out. I mean, I watch a lot of TV shows. I already did, but
This is a unique time for you and for all our spring sport athletes because obviously you would be in competition right now
yeah.
and you're not. Do you feel the pressure to kind of to do something with this time, to be productive with this time?
Oh
Even
yeah.
if, sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think I've always kind of been that way. I like to try to be productive, and if I'm not really good with being lazy. I mean, I obviously can be, but um, yeah, I mean, definitely. I just like to keep in shape, but yeah, I do think there's kind of that, like, I need to be doing something because I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things that I miss, and it's weird because right before spring break, um, I ti just the way my 8-week classes kind of timed up, they were finishing right as we were starting to travel, and so I was just like every road trip or the van rides we were on, like I was doing work, and I was like, I literally just cannot wait to just like chill and not have anything to do. And then a week later, like all that hit, and I was like I kind of miss my crazy schedule, and I kind of miss like having 500 million things going on in my brain. But yeah, I mean, I just have tried to keep productive, I guess.
How much does it suck to lose this OVC golf championship this season?
I think that was the biggest, like when it obviously sunk in, like we were done, and then we were riding from Jacksonville to Valdosta, and I was like, this was going to be my first, because I had a good feeling I was going to play in conference, and I haven't yet. And I was like, and at the time we did not know about eligibility and stuff, and I was not going to get my hopes up on it. So I was like I'm only going to get one shot at a conference. And I think we did have a good shot at winning. And I think that was the case for a lot of the spring sports. And like, obviously track was just coming off of their win, and outdoor was looking just as good. So I think a lot of the spring sports were very close to winning a conference championship. And just, I think that was the biggest one. That was the hardest pill to swallow, was I'm only going to get one. But
What what do you hope comes out of this that's positive? Because I feel like it would be easy to dwell on the negativity that surrounds us right now because obviously there's a lot of uncertainty. But what do you hope is a silver lining in all this?
I just think as busy as we all get as student athletes, like I said, like just me thinking, oh God, I can't wait until I can just chill for a little bit. I think not getting wrapped, like just as much as 6 a.m. workouts suck and as much as the everyday grind sucks, like I just think taking a moment to sometimes like take that in and be like, I'm lucky to be here. I think not taking what we all have as student athletes for granted. Because I think that's what a lot of us have learned, and I've seen that just in random social media stuff, is just not taking, because I blinked and I'm about to be a senior, and obviously we don't know how the whole 5th year thing is going to look, but for right now, like I only have one more year. And I think it was when Andrea said like, hey guys, like I'm going to head home. Like my parents want me to get back to Florida. And we were like, I was like, oh my God, like she and I only have one more year of this. Like that's when it really hit me. It wasn't the initial thing. It was when like everybody started going home. So I just think learning not to take all of this for granted, because it has flown by.
What's a note of positivity you would end on? What's something you would tell somebody to keep their spirits up right now?
I mean, I just think like taking it all day by day. Like, I mean, that's all we can do. We don't know what summer and fall and winter is going to look like. I don't know what my next 2 years looks like, you know. So I just think, like I've said, I've tried to just control what I can control. And, you know, I've tried to be a good leader on my teams and in SAAC, and trying to find new ways to stay connected and just, I don't know. So I just think taking it day by day, like just don't get super wrapped up in all of it, because I think it's easy to.
And that's probably very good words to live by right now. Riley, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to talk to me and just kind of let me know, one, that you're all right, and two, you know, how you're looking right now.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you for having me on.